We are saying happy birthday to a Mainer who had a job that put her right at the top of pop culture. We're talking about Nina Blackwood, who was one of MTV's original VJs.
Yeah, the story of how she rocketed to fame is told in the book VJ, The Unplugged Adventures of MTV's First Wave. Back in 2014, our Rob Caldwell sat down with Nina, who said her years as a VJ are just part of her life.
That was a short period that you were there at MTV, about 5-6 years,
Yeah.
and nothing lasts forever in television. It is a business that is always in a state of change, and MTV has changed obviously enormously since the old days of playing videos and actually playing music on a music television network.
Yeah.
Now, Jersey Shore, things like that. What do you think of the change? Does it kind of make you a little sad?
I'm more disappointed and a little bit angry about it because there isn't anything now like the old MTV. Not that MTV as it was when it started would be something that would be viable today because of the internet, and the downloading and all that, but at least keep the thread of music. Somehow, if you want to put some of those other reality shows, they're fine, but at least keep some music programming, some credible music programming, because I do feel people would watch it. I never would have, I would have thought it would have gone off the air before I thought it would develop into something like that. I'm sorry.
You're now on Sirius Radio. How do you like that? Is that a gig you're enjoying?
I love it. I always loved radio. In fact, I wanted to go into radio years and years ago, and my manager kind of pushed me in the other. He says, no. He says, that's a real unreliable job, very transient, and he's right. It is transient, but so is TV. It's like, which is better? You don't have to put makeup on for radio, but he kind of steered me in the right direction. But I love radio. I really love radio. So, yeah, I feel, knocking on wood, I feel very, very fortunate that I do what I do.
You've lived most of your adult life in Los Angeles, New York, back to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, you decided to move to Maine, which was a big change. Why did you come here?
I have always loved Maine since I was a little girl. My parents and I came up here a couple of times, and it's just, I'm forgetting the actual quote, but there's something, maybe you know it, something about the Maine gets in your soul. There's a type of hook almost that it gets in your soul, and it did. And for 20 years, I subscribed to Down East magazine, Yankee magazine. I'm sitting out there under the palm trees going like, oh man, look at that. And, nothing against LA, but I don't like hot weather and sunshine. That's my least favorite. It's crowded. And I just had it.
There are all kinds of people, as you know, who they have this dream place they'd like to go to. They pack up, they move. After a couple of years, it turns out it's not quite the paradise they had hoped for. Is Maine still working for you?
7 years. Yesterday, I was backing up into my driveway. I live on a dirt road. There are dandelions lining it. The birds, I can hear all the birds at my property. And this little voice just said, you'd be a fool to leave this. I don't even know whose voice it was. It was this, you'd be a fool. And I just went, it's heaven to me. The people here are wonderful. I love Mainers. They don't care, what, as long as you're a good person, that's all that counts. None of this phony stuff. I love it.
All right, let's get into the dark side.
Uh-oh.
Let's get into the ugly stuff.
Oh no, not you.
You are a major weather geek.
Oh, yeah. Huge weather geek. I still correspond. I correspond with Keith, actually. I'm so proud of it. He got if I had another lifetime, a dream job, the Weather Channel, wow. I love weather. I love weather. And actually, when I left MTV, I did a couple other things with ET, and there was a period in the book, it was a little bit the first time in my life, hard to get a job, basically. I remember saying to Martha Quinn, I said, you know, I really want to be a weather person. I want to be a meteorologist. I'm dead serious. She laughed in my face. She laughed because I guess they couldn't imagine somebody, it's hot, it's cold, you know, so, you know, but I seriously, I love the weather. I've got these gizmos, I've got my NOAA, I have my satellite stuff. I'm running up and down when there's storm warnings. I mean, I'm like, the adrenaline is like, I'm up and down. I've got an anemometer on my deck that broke because we had so much wind, it flew off the deck.
You were very proud of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we had over 60 on my deck. But I'm a total weather geek and I love it. And Maine, I mean, we have perfect weather. I love our weather here. I love it.
You've had an interesting life. Are you at a good place now?
Again, I keep doing that. It's so low, but Rob, I tell you, I can't. Sometimes when I'm sitting on that same wind-blown deck, and I'm looking at this little piece of property. I don't have a lot. It's just an acre. But I look around, I see the chipmunks running around, all the birds, the hummingbird this time of year, the woodchuck, the blossoms, and I have my job to do. You know, and I just go, my God, my eyes are gonna start watering. I feel so fortunate. I feel incredibly fortunate.
I think a lot of us know that feeling. Rob Caldwell with that conversation back in 2014, and Nina really does love the weather. She got to meet one of our former meteorologists when they taped that interview, and she was over the moon.